Well, as we all know, LeBron James sat down at the Boys and Girls Club in Greenwich, Connecticut on July 8th of 2010 and destroyed the NBA as we had come to know it for decades, when in a stunning decision, he told the world he wasn't good enough. He told the world that he couldn't live up to the arrangements and the standards that every other all-time great was held to before him. He told the world that despite his chosen one tattoo and self-proclaimed title of king, that he needed to steal some cheap rings to inflate his already, at that time, massively overrated legacy. LeBron James decided to join Dwayne Wade, who was coming off a season just the year before this team-up occurred, where he was named first-team All-NBA, finished 5th in MVP voting, had been named an All-Star for the 6th straight season, and dropped per-game averages of 27 points, 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. Wade was also named All-NBA second-team defense that season. As gutless as this decision alone was for LeBron, who had just won league MVP, the freshly joined tandem of cowards needed to make their team truly super. So thus they recruited a third. And Chris Bosh had just completed his 7th NBA season, where he was coming off of his 5th consecutive All-Star selection and posted averages of 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. This team was so unbeatable, it instilled the confidence in LeBron James, who had just perpetrated back-to-back postseason runs where he took a massive dump in his pants.
It's a complete crap.
Flaming out in consecutive seasons as the #1 seed in the playoffs and the league MVP, to declare they would win 8 championships.
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
Yeah, that didn't happen. In fact, they came this miracle Ray Allen shot away from winning just 1 title in the 4 years they spent together. And after a humiliating beatdown in the 2013-2014 finals, LeBron needed another super team to return home. Or so the narrative became at that time. And therein lies the issue with the revisionism surrounding the LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers super team. Proponents of James would challenge this premise, that the Cavaliers team LeBron had in his second stint with Cleveland would meet the lofty designation of super team status. But it is undeniable the answer to that question is a resounding yes.
Yup!
As James would be going back to a team that had stockpiled massive draft collateral in the 4 years he was gallivanting around South Beach, choking his ass off in the finals, with Cleveland nabbing the #1 overall pick in the draft 3 times out of the 4 years between the 2011 through 2014 NBA seasons. One such pick was used to draft Kyrie Irving.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select Kyrie Irving.
The other pick, which became Andrew Wiggins, was leveraged in a blockbuster trade with Minnesota to bring Kevin Love to Cleveland. Irving, at the time of LeBron's return for the 2014-15 season, was coming off of a year where he was named an All-Star and averaged 21 points per game, 6 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals at just the age of 21. But Kevin Love was coming off of a truly historic season prior to joining up on the Cleveland Cavaliers and making this team unquestionably super. At the time, in the 2013-14 season, Kevin Love was easily a top 10 player in the NBA in what was his 6th year, aged 25 season. Kevin Love that season averaged 26.1 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, while not just being selected to an All-Star team, but being named to second-team All-NBA distinctions. But this doesn't actually tell the full story of how good and ascending Kevin Love was this year. See, all NBA team designations were still positionally based at that time. You know how for the last 3 seasons, Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid have traded off first-team distinctions where the other guy, despite finishing second in league MVP voting, was relegated to second-team All-NBA? Yeah, this was one of those situations, as Kevin Love's positional designation was forward, and there were only 2 spots available on the first-team All-NBA team at the forward position. Kevin Love this season was 3rd in the NBA in PER, behind only Kevin Durant, who won league MVP that season, and LeBron James, who won league MVP the previous 2 seasons. Yeah, those were the first-team All-NBA forwards that year.
Bad timing.
And that is the only reason Love was not himself a first-team designation, as you can make an easy case for Kevin Love as a top 5 player in the NBA that season. For starters, if you like advanced stats, and I know the LeBron fan base does, Love was not only 3rd that season in player efficiency rating, but he was also 3rd in value over replacement, behind, again, in order, only the league MVP in Kevin Durant and just slightly below LeBron James. While Love was above fellow 25-year-old Steph Curry, who would win the next 2 league MVPs. So this season, Love was encompassed between that year's league MVP, the previous MVP, and the next MVP. Because, yeah, Kevin Love was that level when he joined LeBron in Cleveland. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The Timberwolves stunk that year.
It's garbage!
Love was just putting up meaningless stats on a bad team, but Love was also 3rd in win shares this season. Also behind, in order, only Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and again above Steph Curry. Trust me, Love was elite this year, arguably every bit a top 5 league-wide player, and the BPM that season bears it out as well, as he was 2nd in box plus minus, behind only league MVP Kevin Durant and above LeBron James himself. Okay, but what about those standard box stats? Love's 26 points per game that season were 4th in the NBA, just behind LeBron James and above James Harden, while his 12.5 rebounds were 3rd in the league that season. His 26 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists that year were at the time the first such stat line of its kind in modern NBA history.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yes, it's true. From tracking data from the 1976-77 ABA-NBA merger and running all the way through the 2013-2014 NBA season, no player ever had produced a line of at least 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. Also in this season, Love's 65 double-doubles led the NBA, while his 11-game streak of 25-plus points and 10-plus rebounds were the longest since the 2001 season. And he finished the month of February averaging 34.1 points per game and 14 rebounds, becoming the first player since Moses Malone in March of 1982 to average at least 34 points and 14 rebounds for a single month. Finally, Shaquille O'Neal, in his entire 20-year NBA career, posted 4 seasons of at least 26 points and 12 rebounds per game. Hakeem Olajuwon had 1 such season in 18 years, while Nikola Jokic has 1 such season in 9 years and counting, and Tim Duncan, in 19 seasons in the NBA, never posted such an average. Kevin Love did this twice in his first 6 seasons, all by the age of 25. And in 2014-2015, that would become LeBron's 3rd option on his freshly minted 2nd super team of his career. 7 consecutive years from his 8th NBA season until his 14th, his aged 26 through 32 seasons, the very heart of his prime, with jacked super teams, all to win 3 NBA finals and lose 4 of them.
Is this your game?
He then won his fourth and final title of his 21-year career and counting with a guy who was first-team All-NBA and first-team All-Defense that season. Nah, this is exactly why this guy ain't it. Jordan won every single year when he had one other All-Star. Perpetually stacked decks in a historically putrid conference, all to fail more than he succeeded. Meanwhile, other players in his same requisite era winning more with less against substantially more difficult competition, as has continued to be and likely will remain the case for the rest of recorded time. The ever-expanding mythos of the Fraud King will always exceed the reality if you really cared to look closely.